There were some fantastic phones released in 2018, and this, as you guys probably know, is my favourite, the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. And thanks to Damien Wilde for sending this over, by the way. I asked for it a second time. I know, sorry about that. I'll leave his link to his channel in the video description. He does stuff for 9to5 Google and for his own channel as well. Anyway, known for its great design, brilliant battery life, and amazing cameras, the Mate 20 Pro was definitely one of the better phones released in the past couple of years. Anyway, in my review, I said it was my favourite phone of all time. You should definitely check that video out. I'll leave that in the description. But I've since then used the Mate 30 Pro. I did my review for it on Android Authority. I'll leave that link down there as well. And I said that that is my new favourite phone of all time, which it is. I think it's a better phone than the Mate 20 Pro, and with the Google apps installed, which I was able to do back then, this is my new favourite phone. I really like it. But with that, I wanted to go back to the Mate 20 Pro and see if it was good as I thought it was, or if I was just looking at it through rose-tinted glasses. Let's take a minute to talk about the Huawei USA dispute. It's really annoying, and I don't care if China's spying on me, as I've said several times. The UK government is spying on me, Google is spying on me, Apple is spying, everyone's spying on me. I don't care that it's China as well. I'm kind of used to it at this point. I think that's maybe just being born in my time. We're used to it. And the Google apps still work on the Mate 20 Pro, like there isn't anything being removed here. Google apps and services run just as they would before. You get the Play Store, and you even get updates to EMUI 10 coming very soon, as it is rumoured. But going back to the phone itself, it feels very much like the Mate 30 Pro, just slightly rounder in its design and with a slightly slimmer profile. Like, I forgot how small this phone feels. Like, I thought it was pretty big when I had it the first time, but since then phones have got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now the average screen size is like 6.5 inches, which is absolutely insane when we consider that, you know, a normal screen size could be 7 inches next year. And like 5 years ago, 7 inches was a tablet. You didn't have phones above 5.2, 5.5 inches. So yeah, I know it's a bit of a rant, but I think this phone feels nice and small, it's easy to hold, and because it's more rounded in its design, it feels a little bit more ergonomic than I think the Mate 30 Pro does, due to it being a little bit more squared off. I personally prefer that squared off design, but ergonomically, it's not quite as good as the Mate 20 Pro, and the fact that you get those physical volume buttons, whereas before the Mate 30 Pro's got this weird gimmicky software double tap the screen kind of thing, which I can see what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work very well. There are two things that stood out to me. The notch, it's pretty big, and I mean it doesn't stand out that much. I use an iPhone as my daily driver, so I'm pretty used to the notch at this point. However, the main thing that stood out to me was the haptic engine. Now, it's not bad, it's not really as mushy as a lot of cheap smartphones are. It's not as hollow as I think a lot of cheap smartphones are, but it's definitely not as sharp and as crisp as the Mate 30 Pro, as modern iPhones, and as modern Pixels as well. Actually, OnePlus 7. Shout out to OnePlus. You guys have been putting better haptic engines in your phone. And as good as the Mate 20 Pro's camera set is, I still think it's very, very good. It's crazy how good that ultra-wide camera is on the Mate 30 Pro, 40 megapixels. Yeah, 40. It's actually 10 megapixels, super sampled to 40, versus the 8 megapixel one found in the Mate 20 Pro. The one found in the Mate 30 Pro is light years better in my opinion, although I guess that's probably because the market in general, the smartphone market, has decided to implement wide-angle cameras into pretty much every smartphone. Even if you spend like $200, you're still going to get an ultra-wide. And I feel like the Mate 20 Pro, whilst maybe not pioneering the ultra-wide camera, certainly helped push it along, because the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, I've said that so many times, was known to be such a good camera. As I've said many, many times, I still think it has the best camera app, that and the Mate 30 Pro. I think Huawei's camera app is the best that you can get, and you can fight me about that. I'm happy to do that. And in general, I think the phone feels still as good as I remember it being, although it doesn't look quite as I remember it, and not in a bad way, certainly not in a bad way. Not really in a good way either, it just didn't look how I remember it being. I think I called it like the S7 Edge of 2018, and I still stand by that. I think it feels a lot like I imagined or remembered the S7 Edge feeling, but in a 2018 form factor, you know, with smaller bezels and bigger cameras and all that kind of thing. And this phone, it certainly still feels like that. I still think it's one of my favourite phones. It's definitely second to the Mate 30 Pro, still my second favourite phone of all time. However, at £450 or 400 if you can snag a deal, it's really not that good a value on the used market. It's really poor when you compare it to what OnePlus and even Google are doing, you know, with the Pixel 3a XL or with the OnePlus 6 or the 6T or however many Realme phones there are. I just don't think it's that good of a deal, to be honest. And I don't think that many people should buy it. I think if you want one and you're looking to see if it's still good, definitely go out and get one. It's a brilliant smartphone. But if you're someone who's looking to get the most out of their money, or you're not necessarily looking for the Huawei experience and it's just one of your options, I think you should maybe steer clear and go for something with just a little bit more for your money, more bang for your buck. I don't hate the phone, and as soon as I say something negative about a smartphone, the people in the comments just go off, and that's just how YouTube is. But I still think that this is my second favourite smartphone of all time. And I'm probably going to keep it in my pocket as long as Damien lets me, to be honest, because I forgot how much I loved it. The iPhone 11's good and that video is coming, but it's not as good as Huawei phones in my opinion. And it's about time for me to go, so thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this throwback to the Mate 20 Pro. It was really fun for me to do at least, so that's good. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please do like, dislike, comment and subscribe if you're new around here to never miss a video like this one. And also check out the links to all the people that I've mentioned in the video description and my social medias, which I always recommend you go and follow because some interesting stuff's coming up. I want to give a massive shout out to my patrons. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for continuing to support me. I've been Ryan Thomas, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.